is a presentation of Mr. X News Network. Objection! I said I didn't do nothing! The following is a presentation of Mr. X News Network. It's Mr. X News Network, and I'm Mr. X. You know who I am. I've been here for a long time, and if you think that this show was supposed to be 20 minutes and you sat up here for 350 shows, and we're almost on 450 shows, you would be mistaken. If you watch Mr. X News Network from number one, you would know that we talk about everything. We talk about the news, the weather, all the different states, all the different people, sometimes hater stuff, sometimes not, special friends, cute dogs, cute squirrels, and a bunch of other stuff. Football, you name it. We talk about it here on XNN. Now, I'm working on something because somebody called me right before the show, and this is a person I haven't talked to, and maybe I will catch this person off guard, but I'm going to try to catch this person on air because I know you would like to hear from they, them. Now, I don't want to say what this person is, if this person is a man or a woman. We're going to find out real quick. We're going to see what's up. Can you hear it? Hello?
Please leave your message for...
Oh, no answer. No answer. It's not Janelle. I got a call from Chanel. Chanel called me right before the show. Let me try her one more time. I was hoping to get her on here. She called like 5 minutes. I was literally setting everything up, and Chanel called in. Let me try her one more time.
Please leave your message for Chanel. Sorry, mailbox is full.
No!
An SMS notification. Press 5.
No! Chanel, what's going on here? I don't know. Well, we couldn't get a hold of Chanel. We tried it. Oh, my God. Mr. X News Network, what a crazy weekend it's been. Last time I was here was Thursday. Let me put that over there. And now it is Monday, and we're back. And we're back here at this time. I did a little bit earlier last week. Now I am here at this time. But let's start off, you know, instead of talking about bad people, and maybe we'll talk about bad people and contempt of court and all that kind of stuff. But let's talk about some of the good people. And let's talk about Kathy Fagan. Hey, Kathy. Melissa is here. Oh, my God, Chanel, that's a throwback. Yeah, she called me, Melissa. Want to say what's up to Ma. What's up to Spanky in Boise. Barbara Buffalo's here. I know Texas Granny will be in and out. Rainbow Melon. Oh, my God, I got to talk about her. I think that she might be done with streaming. She might be done with... And I didn't know what to do. I mean, Rainbow Mel, what do I do? I got your email and I responded to your email. If you're completely out of it, God bless you. Thank you for being here the time that you were here. But if you're no longer going to be here, you know, let me know. Do I unmod you? What happens? I don't know. I don't know what happens. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I miss Chanel. She is a sweet lady. For those of you who remember her, I try to call her. Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of people who are here, and I want to thank all of them for being here. Melissa. Yeah, that's right. Martini Queen. That would be Adele. I'm getting better every single day. I saw a picture. I got to talk about it, Adele. A picture of Adele's leg. And Adele, I'm sorry, but you know what it looked like? It looked bad. It looked like, and I'm not saying you're fat, but just hear me out. You ever seen somebody roast a pig and then like the pig, you know, like over the spit roast where they roll it around and like the skin gets like kind of almost like bloated and like, I don't know, burned looking. That's what it looked like. I'm not saying you're fat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're pig, but it looked like somebody had taken your leg and spit roasted it. I've never seen anything like that. I hope you get better. I don't know how long ago that was, but that was scary. Very, very, very scary. Ma is in the house. The Shalom brothers are in the house. Want to say what's up to him. I'm glad to see him here. Hope he's doing okay. And I hope you're feeling okay too, Ma. I know you were talking about some of the health things and all that kind of stuff. Hope you're doing all right. I know these people are doing right. There's 3 out of 4 right off the bat. Texas Granny coming in $10. And thank you, Texas Granny. She was here early. I'm sure she'll be back at some point. Miss Texas coming in $20. So guess what that means? What does it mean? Well, it means Texas Granny's going to come back. She's back for another $10. This is right at the beginning of the show. And, of course, our dear friend up there, not in the sky. He's not in heaven. He's just north of where I'm at, northeast. That'd be Spanky in Boise. I know a lot about Spanky, but I don't know much about Boise, except it seems to be a nice place part of the time of the year. I don't know about all the time because I don't do the snow thing, but when I see Boise, Idaho in the summer, man, does it look nice. I can see why people go out there. The winter stuff, I don't know. I can't do the winter. I can't do the winter, but I hope you understand. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Wyatt Earp, speaking of beautiful, I mean, we've talked about some of the states like Wyoming and all, yada, yada, yada. And it is gorgeous up there too. But when you get into that winter months, I thought somebody was calling me back. It is not. It gets rough up there. Kathy is here too. Thank you for that. Wyatt, nice to see you here. The question keeps asking to the Mr. X, who did you bring? And I would say, well, who did you bring? Didn't you get everything off of Doug and Tyler Feller? That's what's called borrowed platform. People are on, who brought all these people? It would be the people on YouTube. Google YouTube are the people who brought these people. And if you were lucky enough to have a show and be on here, then of course you would get the benefit of the people. And that's just how it works. Let me state this real quick too. Thank you, Wyatt, for that. I'm here just listening. I have been, I got to bring this up because I just want to get it out of the way real quick. But this was sent over to me. And, I got to state this, that Jim is a natural, Mr. X is not. I agree, big ups, says Bob Farrell, which, Bob has not been over here in a long time. Mr. Good was good at the memes and the clerical back end. Big ups. Maybe part of the reason you're homeless or were homeless for a long time is because you don't understand how this works. Mr. X News Network on the OTT had more shows than Jim Terry TV, Crab Legs Friday, and Night Owl Network combined, getting close to 450 total shows. Behind the paywall, it was the highest monetized show. Behind the paywall, it was the most viewed show. Can't count Crab Legs Friday because that was public. And let's also not forget that the reason Fumblenuts left, and I know people are taking a lot of credit for different things and all that kind of stuff, is because everybody left him. That's why they left. And then, of course, having Crab Legs Friday public on Friday night was the further nail in the coffin, and that's fine. But that's not completely the reason it happened. So with that being said, Bob, I tried to help out. Bob put up some pictures of the petitioner. Bob has never been over here since I've come back to YouTube full time, if you want to call 6 hours a week full time. But Bob has never been over here since I've come back. And when Bob put up those pictures of the petitioner and the petitioner father, and I was getting notifications that was going to be submitted, I called Bob up and just out of just respect and being cool, never trash talked the guy, said to him, Bob, look out. Never said that there were police officers down there looking for him. I said, Bob, look out. They're looking at you. Now, who else would do that? He's not a contributor over here. He's not anybody that I have an issue with. I think Bob has a problem because the last time I was in Vegas, he wanted me to gamble for him. He sent an email to Jim Terry Live. I did not have access to it and kind of got butthurt over it. Don't forget, Bob also wants to hear about the Dylan Rounds case and all that kind of stuff. And I think that true crime stuff is junk. I've said it for a long time. And if you want to stick around true crime, that's why Jim has a Rolling Stone article about him that doesn't help him. Hey, the guy that's calling himself James Michael, he's got this article on there that says he's a scam. I was saying last time I was here, good, bad, or indifferent, that I'd like to see that article go down. But if it's going to help me, it's going to help me. It is what it is. But here's the thing. Big ups. you know that I was not interested in the content of you being at some rest area and you bringing a woman there and you guys living homeless with every kind of skill in the world to be able to not be homeless. You were just too lazy. And I could understand. I could, hey, if you think Jim's better or you like Jim, let's not forget, Big Ups, that Jim put a camera in your house and was supposed to pay you. I was not part of it and never paid you. He screwed you over. Funny how you forgot about that. And he would call your house. He would call everybody, yada, yada, yada. But if you like Jim, you like Jim. I can understand that. You can have whoever you like. Monkey, bring it up. But here's the thing that I don't understand. I don't care if Bob agrees or disagrees. Jim's not in the Screen Actors Guild. Jim does not have any movies on Tubi. The only thing that he has is a Rolling Stone article, and even all the work that he did is gone. The only person that has it, here's the thumb right here. See it? Is Mr. X on hard drives. So most of Jim's existence only exists in the world of Mr. X. Now, here's the thing, Big Ups. I can understand that let me put myself over here. Monkey smaller. I can understand that you like Jim more. You like the drama. You like the drama because you wanted that when you were homeless. Obviously, you like the drama. Look what you went through with your sister. The air tags and this. And I don't know what's real or what happened or what. I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not part of it. But here is where you lose credibility. Jim can carry a show. Well, the stats say something else, sir. And, let's just say you really believe that. Okay, that's cool. I don't got a problem with that. But to say Bob and Leanne can also, like Bob and Leanne, when Bob and Leanne, here's what Bob's show was. He would sit up on panel, be quiet, and me and Jim would do all the heavy lifting. And when he talked, he was pretty interesting. But he didn't carry any show. And Leanne, if you think Leanne's interesting, short of her breaking the law last night, you're an idiot. I can understand, you know what, dude? I really like Jim more. He's loud. He's crazy. Okay, cool. I get it. I like the confrontation. Cool. I get it. Okay. But when you throw the name Leanne in there and you throw the name Bob in there, the tiny bit of credibility that you might have had, which isn't a whole lot, you lose that. Because all of the statistics say that Mr. X is on top, 253 live right now. The notification has gone out. And obviously some people are joining us because I'm talking about a sensitive subject right off the bat. Big Ups is upset because, by the way, Big Ups, when you paid like $400 for one of these, remember you paid for two of these actually? And I actually, if I suck, why are you buying the Mr. X Funko Pop? If Leanne's, you probably have never spent $400 in your life on Leanne. He's upset, and I meant it in no disrespectful way. And let me, I'm not being mean to you, Big Ups. Listen to me. Because I know you know it all. And by the way, I never called any of your ex-wives or baby mamas or your sister like Jim did. I never did any of that to you. I told Jim it was a bad idea after having you on all those shows. I said you were a friend of ours. Why would you do that to him? Just like I have a lot of people. And Big Ups is upset at me for a bunch of different reasons. And I think the number one reason is he was being a moderator on somebody's show. And I said this, I don't think it's a bright idea to have a moderator who's homeless. Now, he's not homeless now. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a long time. But somebody whose schedule is not intact is probably not the brightest move. I wasn't making fun of him. It was a fact. He went live multiple times from a rest area. We had a lot of fun with him. And I think that's where he had it. But if you think Leanne and Bob, who sat up there and really didn't talk, is better than the Mr. X, the guy who built, you guys, you realize this. I'm just going to put this out there, then I'll be done with it. That probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, like I think when Jim was sent out, and Jim's still a band creator on YouTube, when Jim was sent out from YouTube, banished, He might have come back to Rumble or might have come back like Lincoln Kane, but you guys probably would not have heard from Jim in the last 2.5 years if it wasn't for me putting up the OTT, helping him with the OTT. That's what kept him around. The money is what kept him around. And Leanne, if you want to ask the question, Jim used to always say this. I heard a little bit of your show. We'll get into this later. Jim used to say, I don't care about the content. This is what Jim is saying. I'm quoting Jim. Jim would say he only cares about the money that was being earned during the show. He didn't care about it. He says, you can have it, Mr. X. So I spent all this money on hard drives and a bunch of additional time to download all these shows. I don't owe that to Jim. In fact, the first season on the OTT and all of Jim's YouTube content, I gave him a hard drive in Florida and used to beg him to open it up. What am I supposed to do? Give him 4 more hard drives after that? Oh, how much is that going to cost me? $500? How much time is that going to cost me? I don't owe him anything. So that's fucking ridiculous. And I certainly do not owe him, and I'm talking about Jim, a private phone call that's off air, that's not on a show, that's not intended for a show, that has to do with a court case. I don't owe him that. That was to benefit the Mr. X. And Leanne, we're going to get into later into the show, so stick around, about us talking to the police department down in San Diego in your contempt of court today. Also reached out to the former attorney, Mr. Rule, spoke to him. Did you notice I said former attorney? He no longer represents Mr. X, but he's a friend of Mr. X. So here's the thing. Leanne, you made a huge mistake last night. Don't forget, it wasn't my decision back on May 5th or whatever it was to have a motion to seal. They decided to have a motion to seal. Go ahead. You can do a motion to seal. Now you're saying you're going to trade stuff? Well, the only people that you could get that from would either be Mark Terry or Lucas, the petitioner. Excuse me. The petitioner. Well, they said his name 50 times. What does it matter? So here's the thing. Or you could get it from his mother. And I said this months ago. I don't want to talk about these people, but Leanne, the show that you deleted, I have it. So you might have deleted that show, but I got it. They asked for the motion to seal, and the only way that you could get that paperwork would be from them. And why, oh why, do you really want that call to Sergeant, listen, Renee Morello? You want his name? That's what his name is. You guys were talking about it. I don't have a problem. And, here's the thing. This gentleman is, I don't know if he's Italian. I don't know if he's Hispanic. I don't know if Renee is a Hispanic. I don't give a shit. I could clearly tell that this man is a very good law enforcement officer. If you could look it up, he probably makes about $200,000 a year. His earnings are public. He's a very high level guy. He's a very respectful guy. And I will get into this later. You said I talked to him 2 or 3 times. I talked to him more like 4 times. But if you want to add today, I spoke to him again today and told him, and in fact, forwarded, Leanne, your conversation, the contempt of court conversation that you had with Jim last night. I'm not upset about it. You know that call, Jim's getting all the dates wrong, as he always does. There was a motion to seal hearing on a Monday, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, the actual sealing happened on whatever it would be, the 5th, May 5th, and we spoke to him, if I'm not mistaken, on May 6th. Me, Jim, and Officer Morello. The only people that have that call is Mr. X and probably somebody down there. Good luck getting it. Good luck. But I got the whole thing. And yes, 9 minutes and 40 seconds was submitted. It's probably a 30-minute call. I have to go back and look at it. I'm certainly not going to share it. But the question is, what are the 3 reasons that they would want the rest of that call? Why would they want that? Because obviously, Leanne doesn't know what she's talking about. And do you want to trade? The reason I took that call off StreamYard, by the way, my StreamYard, the reason the StreamYard was underneath my name is because Jim was dealing with Miss T early on. He screwed her over. She kept paying for the StreamYard, and she says, I can't keep paying for the StreamYard out of my own pocket. I said, I'll pay for the StreamYard. And the entire time, my company paid for the StreamYard. When we started the OTT, Jim and I agreed that we would split it 50-50 until I no longer worked with him. When I didn't work with him, I paid him back the $12.50 for the half a month that he didn't use. He used it the entire time. That doesn't mean that he gets the content. The calls that he's discussing, pranks and all that kind of stuff, and the calls were all about you, Watcher Crazy, and I got them all. Well, what am I responsible to give him all that kind of stuff? What about all the openings I created? I'm supposed to give this to him? And the thousands and thousands of dollars I spent on my own dime on these openings, I allowed Jim to have it? Doesn't even make any sense. Here's what happened. You want to understand what happened? He was removed from my StreamYard, which he got reimbursed from it, and he removed me from his OTT. I played the call before. I don't know if I still have it or not, but I played it. So, I mean, it is what it is. We could go over it and over and over it. I got rid of it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I did get rid of it. Okay. Well, there you go. Enough is enough of that. I'll get back to Leanne and all that kind of stuff later on. It's just, I don't like to start shows like this, but Leanne, you did do what's considered contempt of court today. Yesterday. No question. No question. And I don't know if they're going to go to Ohio or somebody record something or this and that, but just like anybody else, an incident report may or can be filed, maybe it already has been filed, about your contempt of court. And see, the decision of the court stands. I'm not giving out any information that's not public. I'm not offering any swaps. You made a big mistake, my friend, and it's not going to go well for you. Either way, it's not going to go well for you legally as you keep making these mistakes. And you didn't know all the information. And I know deep down why you really wanted to do that. It's not about me. I know. And we're going to get into that later, like I said. But the truth of the matter is, Leanne, you made a big, big mistake. Another mistake. Hey, are you Leanne's daughter? Yeah. You live here? Yeah. You've been served. Better not come to California anytime soon, or it'll be for you. Maybe. Or maybe they'll do nothing. I don't know. That was a very, very dumb mistake. And whoever was talking to you, the petitioner or the petitioner mother, that was really stupid. That was very, 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 very stupid. And you know I'm going to follow up on it. Let me follow up on this. Kathy Fagan coming in. Kathy's in the house. Kathy, I hope you're doing well. Got a chance to talk with Kathy for a few minutes before the show. And just, all I could say is, after all this negativity and all this hater stuff, just show Kathy some love. She's showing the Mr. X some love. You know, I told Johnny on the show the other night, and here I am going against what I just told Johnny. I want these shows to put a smile on somebody's face. Maybe the content of Leanne going downhill or me responding, the only way that I could respond to somebody like Big Ups does put a smile on somebody's face. But my goal is not to sit up here and be, I need to do this and I need to do that. Here's what I need to do. Look at my arm tanned. That's what I do. Jim, in the last week, you spent more time on shows on YouTube than you did in the last month of the OTT. That's a fact. I don't think starting, Saturday or Sunday, if you go 1 week back, you have spent more time on YouTube than you did in the last month. How can I prove it? I don't know if you know this, but on June 15th, I saved the OTT. I have the whole, what I mean by saving it is I recorded it. And I recorded every aspect of every page of the OTT, a video recording. So I have it for proof. And if you look at the last month, you did more shows this week than you did last month. But 2 weeks ago, you said you make more per hour than me. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But I could see when the memberships need to be re-upped. That's when you finally did, last minute, not up front. That's when you finally did a behind the paywall show. Let me say thank you to Kathy Fagan. Thinking about you, Kathy Fagan, regardless if you're here or not. And let me say, I'm also thinking about you too, Rainbow Melon. I know she's always the first to come in. Rainbow Melon, listen, as much as this is not about cash apps. Let me tell you this, Rainbow Melon. As much as I can care about somebody, and I care a lot about, I've never met online. I've never met. I only know you from online. If you're done from being here because of the drama and you got other things, and God bless you, go in peace. Thank you for everything, Rainbow Melon. Let me know if you want me to keep you as like an honorary mod or not. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the shows. I appreciate every dollar you put in. Don't think I don't. Don't think this is a Mr. X is the nice guy because he's getting money show. No. She's not giving me anything. She said she's going away because she doesn't want to deal with this. And that might be the smart thing to do. Rainbow Melon, do what you got to do. You go, girl, as they say. I can't say it right, but you know what I mean. People care about you. You're always welcome to come back. Don't think that you need to respond to anybody. And thank you for all the years you've been with us. And thank you for all the content and all the calls and all the things that you've done being part of. I'll thank you on behalf of Jim because he won't do that. Thank you. Thank you, Rainbow Melon. And if you go, I wish you the best. And at some point, all these people, man, I'd love to meet Texas Granny at some point in real life. I'd love to meet Kathy Fagan at some point in real life. I'd love to meet Barbara Buffalo. I don't think I'll ever be in Boise. I'd love to meet Spanky. Ma, I'd love to meet you at Temple. I gotta always bring, I'd love to meet Tingle Booze, but you won't see me in the UK. I don't like flying. A lot of these people, I'd love to meet Miss Texas. It's probably not a good idea. She probably don't want to be part of the draw. I'd like to meet Barbara Buffalo. All these people that have been around. Chanel. It'd be cool to meet Bob. Big ups. It would be cool to meet you in the trash can. I'd love to meet Johnny Yarbrough at some point. But I know what happens is some bad things happen, and this person records this person, or this person records this girlfriend or whatever, and you got to be careful. But hopefully at some point that'll be behind us. Speaking of somebody else I'd like to meet, it's Mean Green. Steelers look like shit, Mean Green. We're going to talk about that later. Not very good. But you look good. I don't know, what is that, a Shaq? Are you Shaq lady? Texas Granny's back. She is here. Thank you, Texas Granny, for being here. A wonderful woman. Like essentially like a second mom. Like a mom or a grandma. And I'm thinking if she spends this much time with a guy with a mask, talking to me at night and helping me with different things, helping Johnny out, what is it like to actually be one of her kids or grandkids? She's got to be a wonderful person. She is to me. I appreciate it. Tingle Booze, she got a cute dog. She loves the Mr. X. She's over here. Thank you, Tingle Booze, for the $10. Thank you, Miss Texas. She won't be outdone. She's a businesswoman. Don't worry about her. Don't worry about her. And Wyatt Earp is back in the house as well. Number 10. Thank you. And hey, we're at 10 already, and that's without, Rainbow Melon doing a bunch of stuff. So yeah, they come in no matter what, and I appreciate it. All right. Oh, I tried to call the zombie place today. I wanted to get you guys that hardcore prank. I cannot get those fuckers on the phone. I tried and I tried and I tried. It didn't work out. Amanda is in the house too. Amanda, I'd like to meet you. I heard that Jim Carrey, the comedian, said he goes, I've never been to Australia. I don't think I'd ever go either. It's just too far for the Mr. X to fly. I don't like flying to Vegas. But I'd love to meet everybody. Melissa's in the house. A lot of people. So, geez, oh man, here I am getting choked up because I don't want to see Rainbow Melon go because I think a lot about her. But let me tell you this story. There's a lot of craziness going on in this world out here. If you'd have told me, you remember the movie? I always talk about the movie. It had what's the guy's name in it? The guy gets no respect. Why can't I think of his name? He's got the big eyes. Rodney Dangerfield. Thank you. Rodney Dangerfield. He gets no respect. He gets no respect. Right? Thank you. So what happens is Rodney Dangerfield gets no respect, but he does a movie with that Jonathan Bandis kid who passed away. We talked about the location of where he passed away on Mr. X News Network on the OTT and covered that in the past. But they do a movie, and the movie is like a comedy, right? It is. Look, that looks really good tan. That looks really good tan. That's right. What do you look like, Big Ups? What do you look like, sir? But here's the thing. The joke of the movie Ladybugs is about and I've talked about this before, about a boy going on a girl's team and playing soccer and him dressing up. And, the whole thing was like a big joke. It's actually a pretty fun and entertaining movie. Like, it'd be like a movie back in the 90s that you could take your kids to and laugh and say, oh, that's a cute movie. The kids are out there. And that's not the case anymore. Enos Carter Freedom, who is a man who played in the NBA. And by the way, see, this is the difference between somebody like Jim Terry and Enos Carter Freedom. Okay? He goes into a WNBA game, this guy right here, and he says he has made himself eligible for the WNBA draft. That's something I've talked about. I wanted to be eligible for the WNBA draft. I think I could give 10 and 10 right now at age, what am I, 46, 47? I could give double-double. I'd do it right now. He is 6'10", okay? And he's standing off in the distance. And he's wearing a shirt. What is a woman? A human female, or whatever it says. And this girl with the dark hair in the middle, she goes nuts. She goes nuts because this guy wants to play in the WNBA. There is a loophole in the WNBA that says they really don't define a woman. So if this 6'10" man who averaged a double-double in the NBA, played for the Celtics for a number of years, he'd easily do that in the WNBA. He says he's eligible. He's like 34, 36. He's had some injuries. He'd probably score 30 points and 25 rebounds a game. I mean, if you think about it, Caitlin Clark is scoring 30 points and 10 assists. She's done that 5 times in her career. Do you know how many times that was done before her in the entire history of the WNBA? 4. She's done it more times in her short career than anybody's done it. I walked around the mall and I saw the Sophie Cunningham t-shirts. I love basketball. I don't care if it's women or not. I'm glad that the WNBA, even if this is a little bit of drama, is getting more interesting. So this guy is there, and I'll talk through this, fair use and all that bullshit. And he gets escorted out by security. Now, that's the kind of security that Jim wanted around him. Little 5'4" dudes. Now here he is at the national anthem, saying that everybody should have their hands on the heart. He says, here's what a woman is, and it's an adult human female. Not talking this specifically at anybody, but a lot of people would agree with that assessment. If you were born with a vagina, that you're probably a woman. Here's him saying that maybe I'll use the bathroom. It's allowed. Why not? So here he is, and these women start going nuts at him, right? They get pissed, especially this smaller lady in the middle. Now, the blonde lady, she did hit Sophie Cunningham in the head and got a big foul a couple weeks ago. But look at him. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, this is a grown man, and unlike Jim in Battle Creek, he doesn't back down from security. He doesn't act like a tough guy. I'm not going to play any of the audio. It's all out there. And he just stands there. And you can see security running up to him. And this guy is a streamer. He's got shows and all this kind of stuff too. He's like I said, a former NBA player, obviously not a Hall of Famer. At 34, he's still not in the NBA. But here's the thing. He's a guy who raises awareness. He's from another country. He's very proud to be an American. And they just start taking him out. And you can see he's being very calm about it. Now, like I said, that is a 6'10" man. The black guy that next to him, he's probably 6'4", 6'5". That the guy in the red shirt, Jim would back down to, Jim would not back down to, but the black guy, Jim would. Probably that blonde security guard who's 6'5", Jim would back down to too. But here's the thing. This guy played it right. He said, hey, listen, I'm not doing anything wrong but wearing a shirt. And they're like, okay, you got to get out of here. You're being disruptive. He goes, for what? Defending women and women's sports? Now, obviously he is being a little bit disruptive and all that kind of stuff, but he didn't walk out on the court. He didn't do anything. But here's the difference. When a man that size, and they know that this guy's an athlete, he's in the prime of his life, or just maybe a little bit past the prime of his life, they're not going to fuck with a guy that big. They're not going to do it. And he's doing his thing. Pretty packed crowd, by the way, too. And they're there because of Caitlin Clark. And You don't see any of them grabbing him by the shirt. You don't see any of them pulling him out. You don't see this guy calling for coaches. Now, this little 5'1" security guard tries to come and grab him. And like, she's even smart enough to like, you know what? I'm not going to touch this grown man. Now, here's another thing. Now, he goes outside and he's like, I didn't do nothing. You know, I'm not allowed to do this. Is that the guy that held Jim right there with the beard and the ponytail on top? Maybe, I don't know. And he's just being calm, and I'll play a little bit of the audio.
What is the reason that they're kicking me out? This is unacceptable.
He's like, the reason they're kicking me out is this is unacceptable for me wearing a T-shirt. So he goes outside, and people, and I don't think it's in this video, but this is in Chicago, and this lady here says, get out of here, yada, yada. People in Chicago start shit-talking him. But the guy is, maybe if it's wrong, maybe if it's right, I don't know, but he handled it the right way. And it became big news. It wasn't something he was trying to bury or somebody was trying to sell the footage of. He wasn't being an embarrassment. He was trying to make a point. I hope the guy makes it into the WNBA draft, or the WNBA is going to have to say what a woman is. Not that that's a big deal in the bigger scheme of life with people that have, you know, are sick or, you know, coming off of surgery or whatever, but it's pretty interesting that there's people out there that are challenging that. That's not a crime. He didn't do anything wrong, and he certainly didn't back down. Similar to the Mr. X. That's right. So it's pretty nuts. Mr. X, you should come visit God's country. That's what people say about the United States. Everybody thinks their country is the best. And maybe it is. I don't know. A lot of people love Mean Green. I love Caitlin Clark is awesome, and Sophie Cunningham. Yeah. Man, those girls are getting mistreated. But, oh, yeah, it's in Chicago. It's rough over there. And there's people shit-talking him saying, you sucked in the NBA. He sucked? He played for like 11 years, played for the Boston Celtics, averaged a double-double. He didn't suck. You know, if you could get 1 year in the NBA, you know. So, yes, just helping. That's right. How you doing is in the house. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Good. You doing good? Good. I'm happy. I got to tell another story. You know, I've had this Pittsburgh Steelers hat, a fitted hat, for a while. And on Sunday, I made the mistake of going to the Fox Hills Mall. Because I was like, you know what? There's two lid stores. You know, the store. By the way, when I sound a little bit spitty or sound a little bit like look at this. Listen when I talk like this. It's because of the mask. See, hear how my voice is real clear. Now, when it's against my face, I sound a little bit more muffled. Listen, I sound clear. Mr. X News Network. Mr. X News Network. So that gets in the way and it builds up. I'm not tongue-tied. I'm wearing a mask. So here's the thing. I go to the mall and I want to buy a new hat. I want to buy a new Steelers hat. And I go in there and there's two lid stores in the Fox Hills Mall. Of course, I had to get my Olive Garden. By the way, big ups, 42 minutes alone. I guarantee you couldn't do 42 minutes alone, 3 hours alone every week for months and months and months, if not a year. I mean, that would almost like be a job, something you're not willing to work these days. But you're injured. I'm injured too. Everybody's injured, right? What's your excuse? So here's the thing. I mean, you got a free place to live. People are talking about subsidized housing. People talking about Mr. X living in Playa del Rey or Playa Vista or whatever. Eric Foss, and I'll get back to the mall. Why don't you please look up Playa del Rey and see if there's any government subsidies in Playa del Rey? I'll move into the place immediately if there is. There are zero. Look it up in Playa Vista. Look it up in Westchester. That doesn't exist where the Mr. X lives. That might exist where you live. Now, Eric Foss emailed me back and forth. He claims he makes $7,000 a month. But Eric, hold on. You make $7,000 a month in streaming, but you had a public defender. Well, hold on, Mr. X, you're stupid. You don't pay for a public defender. I mean, you don't pay for an attorney. You get a public defender. Well, which one is it? If you make $7,000 and had a public defender, but let's just say you're really making the money, that's fraud. That's fraud. So either you're committing fraud or you're not making the money. Like when I sign into your StreamYard and I see that there's no super stickers, I don't know. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And, you talk about being a busboy and you talk about subsidies. You know what's interesting? You live in your mom's trailer in a non-desirable place in Florida. St. Leo, Gainesville, I used to go right through there to edit films. Now, you say you bought that trailer. Okay. Well, it sounds like you're getting subsidies for taking care of your mom. Are you drawing a check? Are you? For taking care of your mom? With those big meat bags? I don't know. Are you? Are you in the kind of shape Mr. X is in? I don't think so. When there was body cam footage of you, you had a gut. Just saying. So I don't think you understand. I understand Ocala because I graduated college 1 hour and 15 minutes from there. Look at the old exit 58 or 59 off the Interstate 75. Dr. Bailout, a good buddy of mine, lived in Gainesville. He's from Gainesville. And I would take that 2.5 hour trip to edit movies. I know that area that you're in. And yes, there are some nice areas in that area. In fact, John Travolta lived there and there was an airport there. And it was almost like you could drive your airplane up to your house. But that's not where you live. You live with your mom in a trailer. So what are you talking about subsidies? Playa del Rey? You understand that Dr. Jerry Buss lived in Playa del Rey? And God knows who else in Playa Vista, Marina del Rey. Let's just go down. Let's just figure it out. El Segundo, LAX, Playa del Rey, Westchester, Playa Vista, Marina del Rey, Venice Beach, Santa Monica. And there's other ones like Palms and Culver City, Mar Vista. We're not going to count those. And then as we go up the coast, ask PZ, we're in Pacific Palisades. Do you honestly think that any of those places have government subsidies? I'll go. Just go ahead and type it in ChatGPT. Go ahead. I mean, you know how dumb you sound? Are you kidding me? Now let's get back to the mall. Let me complain about that because I'm done with that idiot. Here's the mall. I walk around the mall. I'm minding my own business. I want to buy a Steelers hat. My Steelers hat is so sweaty that like it dries out my skin because I actually like work out, unlike you, Eric Floss. And what happens is this. I go into like 3 or 4 hat stores. There's 2 lid stores in the mall. And apparently, everybody wants to have the Colin Kaepernick flat brim. I don't like it. I think it looks like shit. I like when the brim is, like that. I don't like it. And now they say that the new thing with these hats are patches. Patches. Like patches, like when Jim grows out his hair, there's different patches. Well, when Eric Foss grows out his hair, he's got the same thing. They're both bald. So what happens is, I don't want, Steelers, AFC North winner 2025. I just want the Steelers hat. And I want it, maybe to be black fitted, what's it called, 50, 59, like the nice 2026 sideline hat. Maybe it says Steelers on the back of it or the NFL logo, just a nice looking hat. But fucking $50. They used to be like $35. I hadn't bought a hat in a while. The Steelers hat I had before, my sister got me for my birthday. So I've had that one for a long time. And I wear another hat to the gym so I could sweat in it. Wow, man, they're really expensive. I had to go on Amazon to find one. So I did find one. Man, that's not a good place to go. What's up to the, I don't know who you are, but what's up to the steak styles? What's up? Hey, what's up? That's right. Steak styles, here's how we do it. And I don't know if this worked in, and we'll move on from the hat thing. There's 2 rules in the chat. And by the way, we haven't seen Squirrel Sandwich back since that scenario. And I'm assuming it's a she. I hope she comes back. And she's also allowed to call the Mr. X off air if it's a she. personally think it's Dale C, but okay. Here's what I would say. There's 2 rules, and I put the rules in, and I don't know if they showed up in the chat or not. Number 1, if you're coming to chat, there's a lot of nice people here. Can you be nice to everybody? Can you be pro everybody here? Maybe you want to be pro Mr. X. It takes 2 hours to be active in the chat. So you got to subscribe or you got to call in. And after you subscribe for 2 hours and you wait for your 2 hours, then you get your comments. Or you could just stay subscribed and be cool. You know, now if you're a previous hater from a different generation, we're just going to block you. We don't want you over here. We don't want you. But there's a lot of people out there that we hope we see back. Rainbow Melon being one of them. Cheryl, Noodle Salad. There's a lot of people we like. We hear Carol H is kind of flip-flopping, but, you know, we understand there's some issues there. Steffi, there's some stuff going on. We wish her the best. But, you know, the thing is this. Just don't come in here and be disrespectful. If there's anybody who's going to be disrespectful, it's going to be me. That's my show. I could do that if I want. That's not the goal of the show. Hopefully you guys leave this show with a smile on your face. That's what the hope is. And the thing is this. The number 1 rule, other than being kind to people, and let me just say this real clear for the people who are moderators, Texas Granny, Barbara Buffalo, and Rainbow Melon, if she happens to still be around. The main thing that will get you blocked, no matter who you are, is do not promote other people's shows in my chat. The people who are allowed to do that are few and far between. One of them is Johnny Yarborough, and he comes up on panel, and he'll tell you when he's going live. But if a person comes in to this chat and promotes anything else, delete them immediately. Block them immediately. And we know, I mean, like we like Tingle Booze, and she said that by accident, this and that. Do not give other shows promotion. Just do not allow it whatsoever. Block them regardless of who they are. And if it's somebody we like, we want to have back, we'll talk to them, and then we'll unblock them. But that's a no. Don't blame Texas Granny. Don't blame Barbara Buffalo. Don't blame Rainbow Melon if she's still around. Don't blame those ladies. You can blame me. If you come in this chat, especially if I don't know who you are, and you promote another show or something else is happening, you're gone. I mean, unless it's like something like, hey, it's like a 9/11 type situation. You know, it's something like super serious. Or you could just always call in. That's the best way to do it. Right? Okay, so you had to accept the rules before chatting. Okay, I didn't know that was like that. Well, now people see that. Okay. And you know, and the other thing too is, and I know I don't care about Melty. I don't care about those people. I just don't care. You know, it's not something that's really that big of a deal to me. But if you're over there from here and you're looking for a place that's safe and people are respectful, the real country club, it's Mr. X News Network. Lips is not in a country club. Let me tell you that. Melty is not in a country club, unless that country club is like handing out weed for free. Let me tell you who is here. It's Barbara Buffalo. She came in $3. She's number 12? No, she's number 11. Speaking of the man, the special man, not that he's special like these special needs, but a man who's special to the show, Johnny Yarborough. He's in the house. Johnny, I had an idea for Johnny Yarborough, and Johnny, I would like to do this on your show, but I am going to do a version of this right now for you. And I would like to show this to you because, you know, we talked about it on the phone, and I think this is something that you could do in the future, and it's something we could have fun with. You usually get a couple of these a day. Hold on one second. As I'm talking, I'm going to bring it up. Monkey, bring it up. And if I get a little bouncy here, there's a reason. Give me 1 second. I'm working on it. So I would like to play this game here real quick with you. We could do this on Johnny Yarborough's show as well. Take down that backdrop, Monkey. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second. I almost got it ready. So I'm going to show you how to make Johnny Yarborough, and it's very easy, a special thumbnail. Monkey, break it up. So I'm looking in the chat, and I have art. So I'm on chatgpt.com right now. and I said, have Mr. X in the black hat and the full face mask. Now I'm going to ask you, somebody give me an idea in the chat of a place that Mr. X could be. I'll take the best one or the first one. Give me an idea. Mr. X is at a carnival. Mr. X is in a haunted house. Mr. X is in prison. Mr. X is in a courtroom. I don't know what Falua is. Mr. X is in a circus. Okay, Kathy Fagan says circus. Mr. X is in full face mask in a circus. He is the ringmaster and has the usual red and white clothing on that a ringmaster would wear. Now, give me some other ideas. I'm in a circus. The circus tent. The tent is at the edge of the Grand Canyon. Somebody said that in the chat. Okay, good. That's a good for location. That was Wyatt Earp who said that. There are monkeys everywhere, says Kathy Fagan. Okay. There are monkeys. I spelled monkeys wrong. I'm not Leanne. Is that right? Wait, why am I spelling monkeys wrong? What's wrong with me? Yeah, it'll figure it out. There are M-O-N-K. Why am I spelling that wrong? Monkeys everywhere. Okay. There are monkeys everywhere. I'm looking for a little bit more. What else? I like monkeys. Franklin Turtle says the monkeys are at war with each other. He says the word war. The monkeys are at war with each other. Okay. What else? Any other suggestions? This is for Johnny. Being very descriptive here. Johnny Yarbrough coming in $30. Let's just have fun. This is the example, Johnny. This is what I want you to do on your show on Wednesday. You can do what you want. I like the ad-libs. Monkeys. I don't know if I could do throwing poo or not. If you get too hardcore, it might. I'm not going to use that one, Frank. But, well, it's just, that's enough. Let's not make it too gross. Have Mr. X in a black hat and the full face mask in the circus. He is a ringmaster with the usual, I spelt that wrong. It'll figure it out. Red and white clothing that a ringmaster would wear. The tent is at the edge of the Grand Canyon. There are monkeys everywhere. The monkeys are at war with each other. And let's make this. Hold on. Last bit. Make this 1920 by 1080, which would fit into StreamYard correctly. So you just go ahead, make this photo 1920 by 1080. This is how easy this is. And I'm getting questions, and Johnny, look at how easy this is. Now, it might let me, it might not. Let's see. So now you push the button. Monkey, do it. And it'll start figuring it out for you. Now it's creating the image. Have Mr. X in a black hat with a full face mask on in a circus. He's a ringmaster. He's in the usual red and white clothing that a ringmaster would wear. The tent is at the edge of the Grand Canyon. There are monkeys everywhere. The monkeys are at war with each other. Make this photo 1920 by 1080. It's creating the image. It's sketching it out. Let's see what happens. And here's the photo. Here it's going to come up. Oh! There it is. Johnny, that's all it is right there. Monkey War, the greatest showdown of all time. There's the Mr. X. There it is. They're all this got really dark really quick. Mr. X, download it. Go ahead and take it down. There's your photo. Now I will do this. So yeah, I mean, now I should have said something like, put X and N logo in it or something like that. But then, of course, Johnny, I took this and I will put it in the overlay. I mean, this is how quick it is. Like that run one that, the Texas Granny did. Texas, take Johnny and have him with a bunch of Grunyons or Runyons or whatever, the Funyuns. I don't know. But here it is, 1920 by 1080, a little bit bigger. Monkey. There it is. The greatest showdown of all time, Monkey War. And it looks pretty damn good. You know, it's pretty amazing what AI can do. Now, before you start saying it, you know, my head looks a little big, but before you start saying, Mr. X, I don't know, these monkeys are bad. They're attacking each other. They're crazy. You know, I got the whip. I got a little bit of everything. But that's how you do it, Johnny. That's it. It's pretty simple. So hopefully I give you something to do on your show, because we were talking about, I mean, not that you don't have stuff of your own, but, you know, you can come up with some different ones and maybe you could do a few of them. But there is the Monkey War for the Mr. X ChatGPT. It took about 10 seconds? So didn't take that much time at all, actually. Let me take this down. Okay, well, now I'm big. I'm back on avatar mode. Let me make myself real small as I get a few things. I had to take the mask off here. It's real hot in this subsidy. Fucking subsidy. Ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous. Okay. All right. Dana Nicole. Yes. Talked about the Steelers. By the way, the Steelers look like dog shit. I mean, I was going to have a big section about the Steelers and all that kind of stuff. They looked horrible. They looked horrible on Friday. Alar didn't look good. It just didn't work out very good for them on Friday. Johnny Yarborough's calling in. Let's see if it's him or not. Johnny, you there? Are you there? Hello? Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Mr. X, I just wanted you to know if me and Paul did a chat GBT.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could pull it up on your show so you can show everybody what we did. You just got to pull it for my show. That's all you got to do.
Okay, give me 1 second here because I'm balancing the phone. And
okay.
Well, let me just do this. When I have you come up, we'll bring it up then.
Okay.
Okay, give me a little bit of time because I'm juggling a few things.
All right, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, we'll get back to you. Get back to me.
All right, bye.
All right, there's Johnny Yarborough. So good. I'm gonna make Johnny do it. Johnny's gonna make something. He's doing it on his own. I think that would be a fun thing for Johnny to do because they definitely got a creative mind over there as well. Very easy to do. I mean, it's not like it's very difficult. Johnny Yarborough, thank you for the $32. I appreciate you. Number 12 and number 13. So thank you, Johnny. Very, very kind of you. He's a nice man. What can you say? But we're coming up with ideas. Oh, I mean, you don't almost need to even do filters. I mean, you could just put the photo into ChatGPT and it'll clean it up for you. Hey, could you clean up this photo or make it smoother or whatever, or make it a cartoon? It'll do it for you. Pretty simple. But yeah, the Steelers look like shit. I could go on and on and on about how bad they looked. Alar looked okay. Howard looked like shit. It's just, this happened a couple years ago when Russ Wilson was the quarterback, and then I didn't want to take the over, but they looked so bad, and then I ended up taking the over, but for a small play. But I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence in Mike McCarthy. I know Eric Foss said that to me. I agree with him. I just don't have a ton of confidence in him. He's a Steelers coach, the new coach. If he doesn't do better than Mike Tomlin, there's a big problem. And there's also a thing where it's like the coach also calling the plays, but he's micromanaging the offense. Is that good? To have an offensive coach where Tomlin was more of like a CEO coach. Sure. But man, the guy never lost. So if he doesn't win the division, and I'm talking about McCarthy, I mean, he hasn't done really great at other places he was at, and he had great quarterbacks. You got a real big problem. And my other thing, too, is the guy's such a slob. I mean, I don't know. If he can't manage himself, how can he manage this team? I hope I'm wrong. I hate to sound like I'm judgy too much. We had a layover in Turkey when we went to Greece, so we had a ChatGPT make my boyfriend look like he had a hair transplant. Everybody believed that he had done it, and it looked so real with a fresh bandage. Yeah. See? It works. That's right. It's a lot of fun too. And like at this point, if people aren't doing it for at least this kind of stuff, and I'm not saying this of Johnny, just in general, it's like you saw how quickly that was to do that. Even after like me asking for, hey, what do you think about this idea? What about this idea? It'd take like 30 seconds to do one. So, and if you wanted to do the YouTube thumbnail, it's 1080 by 1080, or you could just ask Google, what's the YouTube thumbnail size? And it'll tell you. See, big ups, you won't get that elsewhere. You're just going to get screaming. He has a natural talent. How many years has he been in the Screen Actors Guild? How many places has he been banned from? Okay. Now, speaking of being banned, I am worried about Dana Nicole. You could see that this man here is at the Yamava Casino. And this man likes to play, and this is why I came down from the chat. This man likes to play the Buffalo, like the Mr. X. I like to play. But Dana, there's some rumors this man might be potentially your boyfriend. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. But this man has a deep sickness. The perfect slot setup experience. Buffalo. So here he is. I know I heard that Dana Nicole is into Asian men. Nobody's judging about that. But he puts out the thing. Some of these people put out little trolls. They get superstitious about the slot machines. He wants to have the perfect setup. He tucks it in, and he puts a few dollars in. He wants to play the Buffalo. Mr. X likes the Buffalo, but I like Huff and Puff more. Then things start getting weird. He's got some hairy arms. And he got his little water cooler. You can see Yamava. By the way, Mr. X was live at Yamava. You've never, ever, ever seen, after 100 and something Crab Legs Friday that I'm aware of, maybe once, probably never, Jim ever at a crab legs buffet. This place right here, I went to their crab legs buffet, and even though I don't do a Crab Legs Friday, it was on the show. I've done more crab legs places than Jim has, and I don't even do a Crab Legs Friday. So here's this thing. This guy's playing Buffalo, right? He gets it ready. He puts his water in. Now look what he's got. Mr. X likes the puppets. This man has a Buffalo puppet on his hand. I know, Dana, if you're dating this man, you got to talk to him for me. I don't know where he got this puppet, but it's a little creepy. So now look what he's doing. The puppet is now beating the game. Look at this guy. Is that Dana Nicole in the background there in that gift stop? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe she's buying some jewelry. But this man is now playing this Buffalo game. Look at this. This is a deep, deep sickness. Of course, this is fair use, Yamava. I mean, this goes by fast. Some people got some superstitious things about him. This guy is really in the deep sickness. I mean, I can understand having a little Yoda up or a little something up, a little troll man. I got the Mario mushroom thing. Remember? Yeah, I got that. So, I mean, I got my own things. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know. It just wouldn't be me. Dana, I don't think you're dating that guy. I think that's just a rumor that's going around. It's a rumor on the street. It's a word on the street. I don't know if I don't think it's true. Are you working tonight? What's going on with you? What's the matter with you? Oh my God. 268. Hit the like button. It won't hurt. That's right. Thank you, Kathy Fagan. Kathy, we talked about adding you as a moderator. We'll figure that out soon. Gotta love Dana Nicole. That's right. That's not AI either. That's a real thing there, Barbara Buffalo, that person playing that. I did speak to Belle Vee over the weekend. I had about a 45-minute conversation with Belle Vee. Got to talk to her. I mean, she was very, very nice. She seems to think, she's about 2 months behind, I believe, maybe 3 months behind. She seems to think that Jim and I, this is all like one big, like work. Like this is all one big, like behind the scenes genius thing. Yeah, no, it's not. Believe me, I wish it was, but it's not. So I got a chance to talk to her. It was very nice to talk to her. She got the other surgery on the other shoulder. Like I said, I spent 45 minutes on the phone with her. Very nice, a nice woman. She's always welcome over here. And, we're thinking about her too, as she's going through, the double surgery on the shoulders. Yeah, was there some talking about who? Sure. But it was mostly to say, just be careful. Just be careful. Because, these people out there with no jobs, Jim, Eric Foss, they got nothing else to do all day, So that's it. So Belle Vee, we wish you the best. I hope you're doing okay. It was nice to talk to you. I know that you're on other shows and in other chats. I don't care. But, you've been around long enough that it's worth to say, we hope you do well. And you hope you do better than, you did on that last surgery, because we know that last one was an ass kicker. Now, some Vegas news. And then we'll get back into some hater subjects that I'd like you guys to hear. There was, we talked on Mr. X News Network on one of the shows last time I was in Vegas. I took Zooks, which was that the automated vehicle that was kind of weird and it was free. Obviously, that is done now. There is news coming out. The prices of Zooks is beating the price of Lyft. Actually, not beating. It's more expensive than Lyft. So Zooks has become a lot, but it could carry a lot of people. It's become very expensive, people are saying. So that was a big story in the Las Vegas world recently. Monkey, bring the Mr. X up. There you go. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so, I mean, hey, what can you do? It's okay. Now, I'm not going to use it again. I'd use it if it's free. There was another piece of Las Vegas news. And speaking of Bob, I've already spoke about Bob. But we know Bob attends the South Point. And the South Point has a national news story out there. And I'm not going to bring this one up. You could just take my word for it as I tell you about it. They're one of the few that has a buffet. And can anybody guess how much they lose per month on that buffet? But they're getting a lot of traffic in there. They lose a lot of money on having that buffet there. And there's a lot of people who come to that casino just for that buffet. It's always got a huge line. The answer is $1.5 to $2 million a month. They're losing around $1.5 million to $2 million a month. 10 grand, a lot more than that. $1.5 million a month. It's a national news story, but it brings people in. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of money, Kathy. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes you got to lose money to make money or spend money to make money, yada, yada, yada. But you would think that a lot of these other casinos would do the same kind of thing because it's good for business. But apparently not in that scenario. So I got some stuff, and somebody was nice enough to send this over to me. Give me a second. I want to play a little bit of this, of this here, fair use and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to bring this up, but I'm going to come off camera as I bring this up. Now, give me 1 second as I come off camera. We're going to get into Leanne. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're going to get into it. Are you ready down there in San Diego? I told you I didn't want to talk about you. Now, there was a big thing on Leanne's show last night that she has now either deleted. Thank you for typing it out. I'll just use yours instead of typing it out in the back thing. Where Leanne was trying to convince Jim to give a phone call over. And the phone call was between Jim, myself, and Officer Renee Morello on the date of May 7th, 2026. So on May 4th, there was a motion to seal hearing, and then that was pushed back to May 6th. Jim was trying to get a hold of Officer Morello dating back to the previous year. I'm going to clean up some of the things that Jim said that was inaccurate. Well, first of all, Jim says that I've only spoken to Officer Morello once or twice. That's not true. I've spoken to him 4 or 5 times. Minimum 4, maybe 5. Okay? As we were getting the case going, the first time I had ever spoke to him, you're right, was on May 7th. I had never spoke to him before that. So Jim was initially trying to get a hold of him. Jim calls me in a huff. I think he was going to Florida or somewhere with his wife, somewhere that he wouldn't tell you where he's at because he's hiding. But he was going somewhere with his wife, and he was pretending like he was playing football. I do not believe that he got thrown off that team. I think he played the first couple weeks in June. So by May 5th, he was not playing with them. I do know that in May, at some point, Jim was trying to play for a team in Biloxi, but Jim's name was so bad down there in Biloxi, even though the coach had domestic violence stuff, they would rather have a coach that had domestic violence stuff than have Jim on the team. So Jim went up to Wheeling and played with Wheeling, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, the first 2 weeks of June. So May 6th, 7th, Jim wouldn't have been on a team. He was probably trying to get on a team, but he wasn't on a team at that point. So at least not to my knowledge, at least. Anyway, so the point is this. Leanne does a show. And let's not forget, on May 6th, the court decided to accept the motion to seal for the petitioner in this civil restraining order case. And what Leanne keeps saying to people, folks, is there is a transcript, and I'll take this down. I'll leave it up, Barbara Buffalo. There is a transcript to this court hearing. Okay, and I understand the only way she could be getting this is if allegedly she's getting it from Confluence or Confluence's son. I'm going to explain to you how this is inaccurate. And by the way, if this is ever turned in for a motion to reconsider, the judge, ma'am, I want you to listen to this, because they're, like we've talked about in Coronado with them continuing on. Put this into the when you have to put it out with a transcript, add this into the transcript. They're not stopping. This happened on August 23rd last night. By the way, the court case has been over for over 5 or 6 weeks. We won it. It was denied. So they are saying that Leanne said, and this is before this, I have a 13-minute clip. This is before the clip, that she would trade a transcript of that court case for the call between Mr. X, Jim Terry, and Officer Renee Morello. Leanne, that's a lie. Let me tell you why that's a lie and how I know it's a lie. The transcript of the court would require a court stenographer. Okay? How do I know that there was not a court stenographer? Well, I'll tell you. It's very simple. When I was trying to get my insurance money, the insurance company kept rejecting me and said I would need a court stenographer. And I asked Mr. Rule, how much does it cost to get a court stenographer? Why don't they have them? He's like, dude, they're going to have he didn't call me dude, but he's like, they're going to have one for every civil restraint. You know how much that would cost? Every civil restraint. They don't have them. He goes, all you need is the court minutes. And when you win, you'll get your money. I got the money before I won, but still. Direct deposit, by the way, Jim. No, no check was sent. That's not how it works. So what happens is I know there is no court stenographer, because I know that it's going to cost $600 to $800. So now we're in July, whenever the final hearing, and here's who's there. By the way, at no time that I ever saw, Confluence was never, ever physically in the courtroom. I know what she looks like. I never saw her in the courtroom. I didn't know what the petitioner looked like until that day, the first ever one, like April. I never even knew what he really looked like. But I knew what Confluence looked like, because of what she did on Doug's show. I mean, it was out there. It is what it is. So here's what happens. Confluence was not there. Here's who was there. On camera, and I'm talking about like online, Mr. X, the judge, and the clerk of courts. Now, here's who was in the courtroom. Mr. Rule, the petitioner, the judge, the clerk of courts, and the bailiff. That's it. Everything else was shut down. There was no stenographer there. So you saying that there's a transcript, Leanne, and trying to barter that for a call, that's a lie. You lied. Now, you might not know that you lied, but you lied. Now, is it possible for a court to have a video recording and have some kind of transcript from that video recording? Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Prove it to me. I bet you can't. And I'm going to give you an example of how you can prove it. Why don't you read some of the transcript? I'll give you a piece that you could read. Read the part where Mr. Rule is cross-examining the petitioner, where he's talking to the petitioner about that roof that they said that they lived on. And watch Mr. Rule, or you can auditorily explain this, describe how there's no address on that roof. And does the petitioner live in a jacuzzi? Did Mr. X ever say 1234 Main Street or whatever the address was? That's not the address, but just as an example. And look at Mr. Rule slaughter the petitioner. Why don't you read that part out loud? Read that part out loud, even though I just roughly described it. Read that part where Mr. Rule slaughters him in the court legally, and you can prove that you have the transcript. You don't have it. But what you do have is evidence that they asked to be sealed that you're offering that you can't provide as a bribe. And I understand what the reasons that you want to do this. Monkey, bring it up. And luckily for you, Leanne, see, you deleted your show, but I got a lot of nice people that like the Mr. X, and I got your show. And around the 4-minute mark, let me see if I could find my notes here, make sure I have it correct here. You keep pressuring Jim over and over and over again, 4-minute and 36 second mark, excuse me. We'll exchange that for the court records. Your Honor, if you're watching, we have this, we can provide this, and we feel that this is contempt of court. Here it is. Here's the first part of it. Now, Jim's going on and on. I'm not going to play this whole thing because names are said and so forth, and they took it down. But here it is.
We'll exchange that for the court records.
Now, earlier in the show, exchange that. When she says that, she's talking about the phone call that Jim does not have. I took it out of StreamYard because why does he need it? I took it out of StreamYard, and it was that call, Leanne, you're right. That call is 30-something minutes long. And I understand that you have heard the first 10 minutes of that call, 9 minutes and 40 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, that was entered into evidence. How would you have heard that call? Well, the only way you could have heard that call between Jim, myself, and the petitioner, and Jim, myself, and the Officer Morello, was if they gave it to you. I certainly didn't give it to you. I don't speak to you. I would never speak to you. I filed a lawsuit on you for copyright infringement. So here's what happens. Somebody either gave that to you or offered that to you. And somebody along the way also stated that that call is longer, and you're right, it is, than 9 minutes and 48 seconds. I'll tell you it's about 30 minutes. You want that second half of that call. You want to know what is it said, and that's why you want to exchange the transcript that doesn't exist for the call. I'm sorry, for this evidence. The call. I was right the first time. Now let's go on to a second part. We'll bring it back up. By the way, nobody's knocking on windows. Whatever happened to that? There was a second time that at the 6-minute and 35-second mark where Leanne is pressuring it again. Are you going to make the deal? 6-minute and 35-second mark. Monkey, can you bring it up? She keeps pressuring Jim over and over again.
Waste in California. He wanted to be a courier for that.
So Jim is talking about laying pipe, and here is Leanne again.
And I says, I'm not interested in financing your business.
Well, are you going to make that deal or not?
She has no interest whatsoever. There's twice, and previously before this in the show, and we have this as well, but I'm only just playing this part because I can pinpoint this, that she's trying to make a deal with Jim, and Jim says, I don't have it. Now, there are 3 reasons why she would want to make this deal. Leanne would want to make this deal. I'm going to tell them to you. Bring that down, Monkey. Bring up my thing. Why would Leanne want to make this deal? She doesn't like Jim. We know that, right? Thank you. Thank you, Miss Texas. Well, let's figure this out. What would be the 3 reasons that they would want to hear the second half of that call? And let me give you a piece of advice. I didn't talk much of that second half of that call. Jim did. Okay. And I think you know, and I'm not going to say it, what was on the second half of that call. Why was only the first 9 minutes and 40 seconds submitted and not the entire call? Because that second half or the last 2/3 of the call, in my opinion, wasn't relevant to my case. It didn't have to do with me. It had to do with Jim and this officer. And I don't think the officer did anything wrong. So let's go over what the 3 scenarios are. Number 1, the petitioner has tried to file in the past, but didn't complete it, a motion to reconsider. That was quashed by the attorney when the attorney at that point was still hired, said, if you file this, we're the prevailing party and we're going to come after we're going to recoup our losses. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, we have 60 days to do that. It could be done after that in small claims court. I have a feeling that this might act up in September 15th, 2026, after those 60 days happen. But here's the good thing. Can no longer deal with Mr. Rule. Go look at the documentation. He has been released. He is no longer the Mr. X attorney, even though he is now a close, dear personal friend. Number one, they want the second half of that call for a motion to reconsider that without question, they would lose. They're trying to continue it on. Why would Leanne say that over and over again? Why would Leanne try to get that from Jim? That's number one. Or number two, they want to get Officer Morello in trouble. They think he did something wrong. They want to attack him. I spoke to Officer Morello today. I hadn't talked to him for well over a month. I talked to him the day after the court case ended, and I had no intention to ever call him again. And I told him what was going on. I said, this is what's going on. He goes, well, I don't really think I said anything. And I said, just be aware that they might be trying to get that call from you. I can't tell you to give the call or not going to give the call, but you got my word. I'm not giving the call out to anybody. I'm not. I don't plan. I don't want to. You know what? I'm not going to give it out to anybody. But here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about it. He said that the petitioner had not been in there. He has never heard from him since. So you remember when the last time I talked about it on June 16th or whatever that next day was, and I said the petitioner had never been in there? The petitioner had not been in there as a cadet before that May hearing, or the conversation in May 6th, when we initially talked to him, or I initially talked to Officer Morello the first time. He hadn't been in there probably since March or April. So he was released for lack of attendance, or whatever, however you want to call it. He is not part of it anymore due to his lack of attendance. It's a fact. But they want that call. And Jim, this is where you're stupid. Oh, if I had that call, I'd give it to you. And this is, so either they want to get Mr. X, they want to get Officer Morello, which I don't think that they would be able to do, or number three, they have a real good idea of what you said on that call and that last 2/3 of that call, and they want to get you. They want, because they've run out of everything on me. They got no way to do anything really with Officer Morello. Who's left? Leanne doesn't like you. She wasn't even listening to you. Do you hear? Do you have the call? Do you have the call? You were talking about something different. The information that I believe in that call, the second and third, where I don't even really speak, and Jim's saying how horrible the attorney is, and how my attorney, he's saying this back in May, which, by the way, the attorney came true of everything he said he would. They want that call, I believe, because I was on the call. I know it was on the call. I entered the first part of the evidence. That would give them the sufficient information to go after Jim. Then there was a discussion about production insurance. Interesting. Let me give you a hint about that, because I think what they're trying to do is connect dots that this production insurance, Jim did this, he would be underneath this banner at that time. Jim no longer works with me. I no longer work with him. I've been separated. I haven't talked to him in over 2 months. I'm scared of him. No, I just don't want to talk to him. That's the truth. What's up, Squirrel Sandwich? I'm glad that you're here. I haven't talked to Jim in over 2 months. I don't ever plan to speak to him again. They want that information to go after Jim. I know it, because I know what's on that call. I know what's on that call. And Jim, Leanne was playing you. She was playing you because, number one, she was lying about having a transcript. Unless the court gave out some kind of transcript, there was no stenographer. I've already proven that. If there was a stenographer, I would have had to pay for it, and it would have cost me $600 or $800 to do it. There is no stenographer. Call them up and ask them. She wants that so they can go after you. That's what it is. Because, like I said, the situation with me is done. It's done. Every day, this is what I was told by the attorney. In fact, I spoke to the attorney 10 minutes before I came on the show. That's why I didn't. Chanel tried to call me. I was speaking to the attorney about this specific subject. I'm allowed to call him. He's a friend of mine. He can give me free advice. Even though he's not my attorney, he can give me advice. And we'll get back to the insurance in a minute. He says that's contempt of court. If you want to file an incident report, a police report on Leanne, you can do that. I don't know if that judge will do anything and she's in a different state, but you are well within your rights because she is trying to break, or she has broken, depending on who looks at it, a motion to seal. Their motion to seal, not mine. It's clear. We have a recording of it. That's it. So they think, and I believe this is why I put myself at number 1, Officer Morello at number 2, and number 3. They want Jim, but they think they can get insurance money from me. Let me explain to you how E&O insurance works. Errors and omissions insurance. That's what E&O stands for. That goes, let me say it again, for any errors or omissions, typically for books, that you might have if you publish something. And it could be a podcast. It could be a movie, right? Jim no longer works with me. And the E&O insurance was really to cover me for things that Jim could potentially get me in trouble for, like what happened within this court case. So what happens is this. There is no more E&O insurance. Why? I don't work with Jim anymore. There hasn't been E&O insurance for like a month. I got rid of it. Why would I pay for it? I know what I'm going to say. You guys keep talking about thorium. Thorium doesn't own this channel. Jim doesn't know anything about holding companies or who has copyrights to this or to that. How do you know thorium even exists anymore? And who holds what? I mean, Preacher has different holding companies, it seems, every year. I got to call up the entertainment partners and say, who is this residual I'm coming from? Does it make sense that Ken Frey would not know what residuals, if he sees one company or another, he wouldn't know what production it is any more than I wouldn't. That's how it works. I'm getting a call in. Let's see who it is. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Dear personal friend of mine. So back to the story here at hand. They think that they're going to get insurance money off of me for potentially something Jim may have said or may not have said. Jim, they're looking at you. Now, I could be a dick. I could be a complete dick and put out that information. Well, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help Officer Morello, who was nice to me. And I'm certainly not going to help Confluence. So what is it? What are we talking about here? We're talking about Leanne and the people over there that you think are your friends, which you can't be stupid enough to think that they are your friends. They're tricking you. They're tricking you. And they're using you. Do what you want. I talked to Officer Morello. He knows what's going on. You know, by the way, talk to the people in Palmdale too. Yes, I know. He knows who you are too now. So good luck with that one as well. He knows you want to free us. Well, you know what freed me? That article that exists with you on the Rolling Stone. That's all I got to show them to show that you're a scam. I might not agree with it, but it's out there. Free us, free you. See ya. So anyways, the point is this. That's what's going on. Now, Leanne, maybe there's already been something filed. Maybe there's something that's going to be filed up. But my suggestion to you, Leanne, is to not put yourself into it, because you know what would happen? You know what would happen if you stuck your nose into that business? Well, it's real simple. Here's what would happen. We could already prove that there was a Copyright Claims Board claim against you. Now you're getting involved in this court case. And you're breaking the motion to seal. You're violating it. We'll see what they say. It's not going to hurt me. Not going to do anything to me. And I don't owe anybody any proof. I mean, this isn't a criminal case. Not like they're going to come to the Mr. X doorstep and say, hey, Mr. X, open up the doors. Go ahead and open up your hard drives. We want to hear that call. Nobody's going to say that. And I highly doubt Officer Morello is going to give that call. I don't even think he has it. Good luck digging that up. That's a dead end. It might be. I think it's a dead end over there. Not good, Leanne. Not smart. You can't prove that you have a transcript of that. And there's nobody else that was there that I'm aware of that could have illegally recorded it for you. I certainly didn't record it. The petitioner and Mr. Rule shut it down so nobody could record it because we didn't want to be in the middle of that. So if you have any kind of illegal recording, that would also be another issue. It's just all fodder and all problems, more problems for the petitioner. And, Mr. Rule told me, every day that goes by that nothing happens to this person is just another day that proves that you're more and more right. And every day that they're doing stuff like this to either you or Officer Morello or even potentially Jim, they're bringing this up. They want that stuff. Proves the case even more that they won't stop. The Never Seen Again show on Paramount Plus about Dylan Rounds is still out there too. Yeah, but the one thing though, Squirrel Sandwich, that was done was I think I was on the phone with Jim, or I was around during that time frame. Jim made sure, and I think it was a smart move, he got in front of it that he did not want to be included in that documentary. So Jim was not in that documentary. So it really doesn't even discuss Jim. They discuss Salty Pancakes and that one guy, but they don't even discuss Jim. So he kind of got out of that. The bottom line is all you got to do, and I know what Leanne's going to say, all you got to do is put Jim's name in a search engine, and there's a bunch of stuff out there on him. And so somebody like Leanne would say, well, Mr. X, you worked for him knowing that, or with him. My only ways that I would work with him is if, one, I had insurance to protect me, which I ended up being smart to have that. By the way, was looking through some of the old records. At one point, the insurance was like $37. Jim wasn't even paying $20 a month for it, going back to like 2025. I was looking at some records in 2025 recently. So Jim wasn't even paying $20 a month for it. He's paying less than that, like 18 and some change. And Jim's got a really bad reputation online in football and at his old high school, in streaming and all that. And the reason that I would do the streaming the way that I did it with the OTT is if I can control the Stripe, never had a problem on Stripe, and if I had E&O insurance. But I can't control if people are setting up things and sending a little bit more money. Can't control that. So it is what it is. So, and Jim, I understand you're throwing out somebody's name that both of us would know from the past. Just to make this clear, and I'll just be a little bit more clear about it. The person I spoke to is not that person that you think it is. Okay? I know you think it's that person. It is not. It's actually somebody, it's a female that works at that high school that knew you and the other people when you guys were there. So I got the recording. You could say it's other people if you want to harass other people and this and that. Do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and that's the best way I can explain it. Leanne can't prove that she has a transcript. She's going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. Jim would have been stupid enough, had he had that, to give that up because he thinks it would hurt me, but it would hurt him. Believe me, there's some things on that call in the end that would make Jim look really bad. That's all I'm going to say. It's not going to prove their case anymore. It would have given them something else. You could figure that out on your own. But that's it. That's all I got to say about it. And if you want to clip this and you want to send this in, just know this, Your Honor, if you're listening to the Mr. X right now and play the whole thing, I didn't do anything. And I'm just tempted to, I want nothing to do with these people. I said it a month ago, but I'm tempted to file a police report just to, so somebody like Leanne isn't doing that by proxy for them. How else? See, like I have a thing. And I'm going to kind of even do this real quick. when you have and I might have talked about this before, but when you have a somebody that you're working with, like I did with Mr. Rule, I want to show this to you real quick. Okay? And this is not really showing that much, but you get a portal. And Jim, I want you to see this real quick. Okay? You get a little portal. Let me just double check that there's not going to be any names here that are going to be doxxed. Just double check everything. Okay. I don't think that there's any names here. Just double checking. Yeah, I could show this. This is the portal with Mark Terry in the law offices of David Rule. There's the exhibits. There's the motion. There's the motion to reconsider that they couldn't file completely, and they now can't file. Here's the petitioner's exhibits. I have them all. Here's even the stuff where Jim was saying that he was going to cover the court case. All of that stuff was sent to that attorney. He has it all, and I have it all saved. It's all in there. I keep that. It's called My Case. I keep that for good. So here's the thing. You know what they don't have? That full phone call. And I've never released any information that was sealed to anybody. Why would I? Why would I put myself in that scenario? I would never do that. Why? To give them an excuse to file something new? No. They want Jim. They know that they've run out of options in Coronado. They know that they have now run out of options in civil court with two different people. And now they're only shot. And they're like Bob said, there's somebody that's looking for Jim. There's somebody that's hot on Jim's trail. You think it's me? You think I know where Jim is? You think it's me? No, it's not. No, it's not. So you'd be wrong. Jim, I hope you're not stupid enough to walk in that trap, but it sounds like you were, and that's a shame that it is, that you are that dumb. 297 people here. Hit the like if you're around and you like the Mr. X and you like Kathy Fagan with the sunglasses on. I've heard that some people do create a file with the police in case something happens later. A few YouTubers have claimed that they went that route. But don't forget, Squirrel Sandwich, that the mother already did a police file with Coronado. That was thrown out, and this predates the civil restraining order, and the information from the DA and Coronado was already entered here. So if they were to do another one, plus the interview from Officer Beebe about the cop shopping was already entered into evidence. It's already there. So if they were to do that again, they actually have a special task force, I was told by Officer Beebe, for Confluence down there. So if she calls, she can't cop shop. That's why they went this route. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but by the way that Leanne was wording it, it sounded like to me that at first, like, well, are they after me? They really can't. They could try, but they can't really do much more. Are they after Officer Morello? Well, they're running into law enforcement with deep pockets and a guy who's highly respected. Probably not. Who else could it be? They want Jim. They want Jim. And this coincides with what Bob was saying. People are looking with Jim. People are following Jim around. And Jim, Jim happens to be on a show and Leanne's asking for it. And Leanne was served in a big part because of Jim. Jim found that process server who served her daughter, subserved her daughter. I mean, she hasn't forgotten about that. She's acting like she's buddy-buddy with Jim. Okay. You think it's Mean Green taking pictures? No, it's not Mean Green. Nice try. Yep, Mr. X is steps ahead. Well, here's the other thing, Barbara Buffalo. I just spent the time on this. Now, could I be wrong about something? Like somebody has some kind of transcript that I'm unaware of? I don't know. I sat there for like 2.5, 3 hours, and I did not see any stenographer in there. Could they get the video of that court case? Maybe. I don't think that they would give that out. Motion to seal. Now, is the motion to seal my documents or only just their documents they asked to seal? I believe it's their documents, but the overall aspect of it, at least what I'm told from the attorney, is just to stay away from it completely, which we have. We could talk about it because they brought it up first. And there's no gag order. There's no TRO. It's denied. We won. So we're the victors of this. We might still collect if this continues to go on. And we could file the motion for that. That would be adequate. Well, here's the thing, Squirrel Sandwich. It seems like every group has police involved or lawsuits with each other. I served Watcher Crazy. She showed in Las Vegas. We beat Leanne in Copyright Claims Board when she opted out and it ruined her channel. And then we won in San Diego. And then if you want to technically count it, we won with the Coronado Police Department. I won 4-0. I'm not calling the cops on anybody. Now, the only person that I have recently ever called the cops on was that process server because he was I believed it was medical interference. And I believe there probably will be, well, let me just put it this way. We're already talking to the officers in Antelope Valley. We're ahead of you on that. I know who you spoke to. And we have to. And by the way, you didn't use your full name. You don't have the right area, but we'll take care of that. No problem. Good luck. Anyway, that's it. Done with that. Moving on. Let me say thank you to some other people here. Miss Texas is here. $5. She came in. She's number 14. Johnny Yarborough was number 13 and number 12, $32. And then Miss Texas, another $5. Thank you, Miss Texas. I'm here on, I'm reading some notes. So I'm kind of organizing a few different things at one time. So just stick with me here. It's kind of tough to kind of go back and forth. Let me read off a couple PayPals and then I'll come back up on camera. Maybe we'll get Johnny Yarborough up here. I do have a handful more things that I wanted to go through. My pharmacist is contacting me saying, Mr. X, we want you to come in for the flu shot. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. Take it if you want to, but I'm good. I don't want. Let me say thank you to these. Here's what I do want. I want these people to say thank you to these people. And it's a couple people coming in on the Cash App. It is Miss Texas, 2:49 p.m. earlier today, $50 on the Cash App. Barbara Buffalo, also $3.59 right before the show, $5 on the Cash App. Thank you, Barbara Buffalo. I appreciate that. Hey, we're doing the best we're going to do, and we're doing great. I mean, I think that we're doing, I'm very happy with what we got over here. And if you're going to have a country club, you don't want to have a country club with people like Lips. I mean, that's just me. Also, let me say thank you to some other people that have come in for the show and during the show. Today is the 24th, so we'll go straight to the 24th. Texas Granny, $100. Texas Granny's going to be in and out. I'll try to pop in and out. Love you, Texas Granny. She comes in, $100. She's going to be popping in and out throughout the week. Also, Amanda coming in, 30, let's say 35, probably. It's coming in $35. Come and pet, I think she should put pet a quokka. Come and pet a quokka. I want to pet a quokka. Quokka is that special little animal that we talked about. She comes in $35. Mr. X, are you following Nick Cage in Netflix lawsuit? If that's the one where they put the Nick Cage Netflix lawsuit, we did discuss it. We discussed the Squirrel Sandwich. I don't understand how somebody would give a copy of a movie on a hard drive, or that was a DCP, a digital cinema projection, why they would give that without a watermark on it. Either they did that for press or it happened by accident. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, I don't know if there's any updates of it, but there allegedly, Nick Cage is going to be hard to get. I heard he's going to be in National Treasure Part 3 coming up. So, I mean, that guy's going up. Texas Granny came in big. Thank you. There's Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. These are all very extremely kind people to me. If you count them all up together, with the Cash Apps, the PayPals, and the super stickers, I didn't check Venmo, but we're talking, we're at least over 20 at this point, probably with 10 or 12 different people. So, people can make up numbers. You can't make up this kind of support. You just can't do it. I mean, people can talk about whatever they want, doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It means it's true. But, just know this. You call somebody that's in a certain organization, maybe we call somebody that's in a certain organization in your area. So just know that there's going to be a recourse for every action that you try to spell out. And just know, Jim, that I got deeper pockets than you, which has been proven. You've been hiding. All you got to ever say, if Jim's ever saying anything about anything, turn your camera on, Jim. Show us where you're at. Turn your camera on. Show us where you're at. Janelle, you want to talk about people who are hiding? Turn your camera on and show us where you're at. Not you, but Jim. That's all you got to do. Turn your camera on. Show us where you're at. That's all you got to do. That won't happen. No, there'll be an excuse and some stories for that shit. I've been watching the last couple seasons, so I'm done with that hater stuff. I mean, I've talked about it enough. I do time doing shows for haters. But hey, listen, I heard that and I got to lay it down to tape, and I got it here for today, and that's it. So the thing is here, I'm talking about dual survival and a lot of these different shows that are on Warner Discovery. And I've been watching some of the seasons that I never watched before that have different guides in it, different hosts. And I'm watching one with a guy named Grady. I think he's like season 6 and 7. It's one after all the guys that I like left. But he's pretty good. He's got a couple different guests and all that. And man, when I see dual survival and I think of all the different places that you could be in, if you could choose one place not to be in, and I'll ask the chat this, if of all the different terrains, forest, jungle, desert, could be snow or glaciers or any of that kind of stuff. If you had to choose one not to, what about the high rainforest where everything's wet? If you were going to choose one not to be in, what would that be? Did you ever see the van? You're never going to see the van. You're not going to see that. It doesn't exist. Yeah, exactly. Nope, never going to see that. So what would it be if you had to choose one terrain place that you would not want to be associated with? Good. So I see that we dropped down 20 people. Bye-bye, haters. Take that to Jim. Do that on your content for the rest of the week. Bye-bye. See you. Okay. The 20 haters are gone. Good. So if what would it be? Well, you know what it would be for me? If I had to choose one that desert, forest, high desert, swamp, I probably would choose swamp as the one that I'd want to be in. But there are different kinds of deserts too. High desert, snow. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. The worst desert that there is actually has a ton of water. And this goes with my next story. The ton of water is the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. That's the one I would not want to be on. And here's a big major story. See that little blue speck? These guys had a styrofoam cooler, some kind of piece of styrofoam. And the biggest desert that's out there, like I said, is the Pacific Ocean. And they were out there for 5 days. Because it's got to be tough because you can't drink any of the water. The heat exposure, the sun exposure is all over you. There's really nothing to eat. I guess if you could fish, there's just it's at least like in a land desert, like you could dig down and find like a hill and maybe you'll find like a hole that has some water in it from like a previous rain. But this is the worst one. And these guys were out there for 5 days, man. 5 days out there. And then you think about if you're just in a regular desert, that's fine. This is motion sickness. This is everything. And if you got motion sickness, you're going to throw up. If you're throwing up, you're losing bodily fluids. He's getting the bodily fluids back. But man, what a horrible, this is off the coast of Mexico. What a horrible experience that's got to be at sea like that. I mean, at least he had somebody with him. for 5 days. It's whenever I see that on Dual Survival, I'm like, that's the worst one by far. Leanne, let me know if you hear, if you have any of that. Go ahead and post that transcript. Well, don't post it. Just prove you have it by reading off a minute or two. I guarantee you can't do it. See, they won't give you that much. So, yep. And you're right, Steak Styles. It's the ocean. It's the worst one. It's got to be the worst one. It's got to be. It'd be the worst one for me. I'd be puking my brains out. It's got to be bad. Bad business. Now, let's move on from here. Well, let's see here. I had a story and I can't find it now. Cute little story. I was going to share it with Rainbow Melon, but I don't believe she's around anymore. It has to do with Michigan, and it has to do with something cute. So I like to get into those cutesy things. There are an unusual amount of special animals in Michigan. It's popping up. It's becoming a thing. And I don't fully understand it. And I was hoping Rainbow Melon would be here so she could explain it. But after getting the swan song email, I don't think we're going to hear from her. And it's not because I did anything. It's because of she's just out of here. She don't want to deal with it. But there is something going on in Michigan, and I don't fully understand it. But it's like our friend, Little Dog the Squirrel, that people want to hear from. And it's something, like I said, that's happening in Michigan. I'm buying some time. I'm filibustering here until I get some time here to pull this up. There is an unusual amount of this special friend in Michigan. This is a big story. This has reached the Mr. X. And of course, if it reaches the Mr. X, I'm going to bring it up on Mr. X News Network. Are you still here? Are you still listening? Big ups. By the way, 1 hour and 55 minutes alone. Could you do that? I don't think so. I don't think you could do anything for 30 minutes alone. I don't even know if you could stand for 30 minutes alone. Monkey, bring this up. Now listen, I'm just saying there is an unusual amount of these very rare black squirrels in Michigan. Now I know this is going to sound like some kind of racial joke, but it's not. But these special friends are all over Michigan. Look, they're everywhere. Why is this? Why are there these black squirrels everywhere? I don't know. I don't got an answer for it. I'm just reporting a story. But they're very cute. I don't know. That's not a black squirrel. That's an owl who might want to take the black squirrel away. But they're all over the place. And I was going to ask Rainbow Melon if she's around. Have you seen any of these friends? Now, they're supposed to say like 1% of squirrels are black squirrels. It doesn't make any sense. But I know that they're cute. And if I would, it could be Little Dog Squirrel, little friend. I don't know. Could be the girlfriend one. You never know. But they are cute. They do like to eat. Why does Michigan have so many black squirrels? I don't know. Rainbow Melon, I know we have somebody else that called me recently from Michigan. I don't know if it was Rebecca or somebody. I can't remember. I hate to say any names. But why are they? And, well, Michigan's a big state, too. So it doesn't mean that that's anywhere specific. I'm not saying Detroit. It could be anywhere. But they are very cute. I know that. Stacy B is in the house. What's up, Stacy? I'm glad to see you here. Hey, Mr. X, long time no see. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I've been here. This is probably my 17th show on Mr. X News Network since leaving the OTT on June 15th. I'm here every Monday and Friday. Mondays, I'm making it a little bit earlier. Fridays, I'm going back. Sometimes it'll be on Thursday nights. But Friday, probably at 7 Pacific, I'm thinking. But that could always change depending on what's going on throughout the week. But yeah, I mean, it's I know who you are, and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad that you're over here, and I'm happy that you're here. So I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Johnny says hi, too. So there you go. Now, moving along here, Johnny, haven't forgot about you. I just wanted to mention this, too. There was another news article out there. And there's been like a lot of these weird LA things. There's a guy who's, I don't want to say famous, but he's kind of known. And he lives in East Hollywood. Not a place that I would really hang out in, but he just looks like a regular guy. He does have the kind of the scar on his face that a lot of like villains have. And I'll just show it real quick. I'm not going to play any the audio because it's from like an actual news story. And this guy is just out there, California Post, talking about the rules of being homeless. Like if you eat, you don't put the food down here. And why, drug addicts bury their drugs and then they come back and all this kind of stuff. But this guy talks for about 5 minutes about him living at the end of this cul-de-sac for 20 years. He's like really well known in this East Hollywood section. And they said if you listen to him speak for a second or two, he doesn't sound like he's an idiot. He's pretty well spoken. Listen.
It's a bunk bed style, but not in a community environment.
I mean, he sounds like, you put a suit on this guy, he sounds like he could be like a CEO or something like that. I mean, that scar is a little bit James Bond villainish, but something, so the only thing he doesn't talk about, and he said the word work, but the only thing this guy doesn't talk about is getting a fucking job. And they talk about mental health, and this is in the California Post if you want to see the whole thing, but he just talks about the rules of being on the street and there being a mental health crisis and there not being enough places to live in. Well, I proved that wrong with the downtown LA thing last week, so I don't know. Yes, so Stacy, for 3 years, I was on the OTT, JimTerryTV.com. Mr. X News Network was on there, my show. We had about 400 and something shows, 420 to 425. And around June 15th, I stopped working with Jim. There was a lot of issues. I had a lot of problems. You could imagine, and without getting into it, I think there's a June 19th show, and people who will come back and find me again. It's really explained in depth about the June 19th show, about what happened and why I will never speak to Jim again, why I will never do business with him again. His YouTube show, he wasn't monetized for like 6 weeks. He lost a lot of money, and he's been I don't want to say a thorn in the side, but he's tried to be a thorn in the side. It's just very annoying. And I think he knows if I played some of the phone calls that I've gotten, and I'm sure he's very aware of what those phone calls are, even though he's got the wrong person, that a lot of information would be disseminated. And the only information that I try to do on this show today, which had to do with a court case that really Jim got me into, is for the record. And hey, Leanne could go do a 5-hour show about it for all she wants, but just know the more she talks, the worse it is for her. I'm already on the other side of being a winner. But I'm glad that you're here, and I'm nice to see you here. Have you heard Mel Gibson talking about Ellen having Kuru? I don't know what that means. I know that Mel Gibson has a new film coming out about Jesus, and I'm actually looking really forward to it, not because I'm a religious person, it's just because he's a phenomenal filmmaker. But I don't know. I've always heard bad things about Ellen. That's kind of yes. 100%. Yeah, I see your questions in the chat. So anyway, moving down the hill here. Another big thing with this mayoral race going on here in Los Angeles, and I don't know if this is really an issue other places. One thing about Los Angeles is street vendors, and obviously street vendors, and the other thing would be food trucks. And it's just a lot of people are saying that, obviously nobody wants government regulation. Believe me, I don't either. But here's the thing. They are having some real problems, and this is becoming a big debate with food vendors. It's almost like not fair if there's somebody out there with a brick and mortar store, and they're, have all the checks and balances they go through, and they're paying rent, and they're following all the rules, and then somebody pops up with a food vendor thing on the side of the street, and right in front of other restaurants, and hell, some of these, like right in front of a Vaughn's or whatever. Like they're selling chicken in the Vons. You don't know if this stuff is clean. You don't know if who these people are. And this has become a big debate. Nithya Raman here, who I think stole the spot from Spencer Pratt. And then Karen Bass on the left, who's the current mayor, who I don't know anybody who voted for, are going back and forth about LA street vendors. Here's my opinion on it. You should have to do what everybody else does. I mean, if those are the rules, you can't just pop up and have a stand. But then again, what's going to be the enforcement? How are you going to enforce that? with all these street vendors. So it's a slippery slope. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'd be 100% honest with you. Some of those street vendors have really good food. They got some phenomenal food. So I don't know where that'll go, but if you're in LA, you know that's an LA subject. They even have the little fruit toss man, and those are good too. But you never know what you're going to get. I've never gotten sick from a street vendor, and that's obviously a big thing in Mexico too, the street tacos. But you just really never know. So I'm going to bring up Johnny here in a second. I'm going to come off camera. Give me 1 second here. Miss Texas coming in. She is number 15, but number 1 always. We got a lot of number 1s. Another $10, Miss Texas coming in. There are, after today, there's 2 more XNNs at the end of the month. And like I said before on the last show, obviously last month was my first full month. So last month would be my number 1 month, my highest month. And we have already passed last month's earnings with the super stickers and the super chats. I wanted to get up more, shorts and all that kind of stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it. There's always like some little knick-knack thing going on. You have not had it. Okay. Well, maybe you should. I mean, you try a street taco. You would think that a fish taco would be disgusting, but the fact of the matter is it's not. It's actually really good. So always remember that Mr. X will put in the time and figure it out. You may make a call, but I can make calls too. And just remember, if you got some bad stuff out there about you, and I'm talking to Jim, it's very easy to disprove you. And by the way, if you're going to talk to somebody up there, you might want to use your real name. That's all I'm saying. Johnny, give me a second. I'm going to send this over to you right now. We'll have you come up. I got a few more quick stories. Johnny Yarborough, link-a-dink. I've sent Johnny Yarborough a link. Usually have him come up towards the end of the show here. I have sent it to you from the old gifts email. Street vendors discussed that. Let's move on. This is really one of the last things I was going to discuss. Steffi has been acting odd. She's been posting weird videos again. And I'm not telling anybody to call her kids or anything. I don't know if you're out there, Ma. But, I'm not telling you to do that. In fact, I'm telling you not to do that. But it seems like she goes through these like little loops of like she's okay and then things kind of crazy happen. I hope she's okay. If you do see her directly, just kind of check in on her and see if she's okay. Because, some of the videos she posts are kind of weird. And I mean, I can understand. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it is her. Yeah. And it's a little scary. I'm not scared that anything's going to happen to me or to anybody, but like, I'm kind of scared something, she might do something to herself. And I'm not saying she said anything, but it's just like, it's a little, she seems like Ma said, something doesn't seem 100% right. And like, I'm not trying to, I'm saying this out loud for people who do visit, just check in on her. When I see her, I always give her a thumbs up. Another person for a different reason. I really like Sarah's mom's life. I haven't talked to her in a little while, but I always check out her video. You see her, give her a thumbs up. Obviously, Johnny Yarborough. And, I check in on some of these people just because, I want them to do well. And I hope people see them. I haven't talked to in a little while was, who was that one lady that was over there on Angel Gotti's? She was, she had a show, and why am I forgetting her name, Kathy? Jessie Roth. I check in on her, see how she's doing. She's not really over here that much. She's more of kind of Angel Gotti group, but she's always been cool to me. I really got no issue with her. Let me say thank you to Mean Green coming in 2 minutes ago. Mean Green says, have a great show. It just came in now. I don't know if that was earlier. 5 $5. I take it. Thank you, Mean Green. I appreciate it. I got the dentist appointment tomorrow. Going to the dentist to get the final bit done. The bit in the mouth of the Mr. X. That's right. Happy about it. Getting real close to it. Thank you, Miss Texas, for that big Cash App earlier today, too. And Texas Granny, too, came in real big. I didn't forget about you. So Jessie Roth. That's right. People like her. She's a nice lady. Johnny Yarborough's coming up. We'll bring him up right now. Johnny, what's up? Well, hold up. I brought you up, and then there you are. What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much, Mr. X. How you doing?
Good, real good. What's going on?
Oh, I'm painting my studio.
Oh, you're painting it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, I'll show you real quick. The wall.
Okay.
Let me go ahead now.
Monkey, make it big.
See?
Yeah, I see you're working on it. Yes.
Yep. I'm getting her done.
So what's that? It's just going to be all blue, like a blue screen when you're done?
No. I'm painting the walls a light blue. I'm making my room to be more light, to make it more lighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
what I do is I black out my room. I actually do it the opposite way. But hey, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's good.
I've been busy all day doing that. I had to remove everything from like my clothes that were hanging. I had to move that. I had to move everything off that wall just to get to that wall right now. And it's coming along very good. So
good. So it's coming together. What about the Chat GPT? You saw the Chat GPT that we did earlier.
I wanted you to pull up go to my channel name.
Yeah.
And you'll see the show for Friday after you go off. You'll see what me and PZ did to the Chat GPT. What me and PZ did.
Okay, give me 1 second. I see something that says bullshit lies. Is it alive?
No, it's going to be alive.
Which live is it?
It's going to be for Friday, the Grunion run.
Okay.
Hold on, let me.
I'm finding it right now. Where is it at time-wise? After I leave?
No, after you leave. No, it's right there. It's right. The Grunion run Friday night.
Okay, it's not on the show. It's just a thumbnail of the show.
It says, it's a thumbnail. That's what PZ did for me for Chat.
Wait, I thought Texas Granny did the Grunion run.
No, she did. She did the other one. Where it says the Grunion run.
Okay, hold on. I'm bringing it up right now.
Yeah, she did one, and then PZ did one.
Which one did PZ do?
That it says Long Beach, California. Texas Granny did the one right there where it says the Grunion run.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, so you want to go back out of there and just type my name in, and you'll see the one that me and PZ did. Yeah, it should come up. It's coming up on my screen. Huh.
That's what I get.
No. Go to live. Go to live. Right there it is.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Okay, so when did you do this?
He did it for me the day that we got off the phone with you.
Okay. So you're going to come. So you're going to go on late Friday night. So I'll probably go on like 7-ish, and then you're coming on like at 10 p.m. Pacific. Does that sound right?
That's right, because that's when it starts. That's when the high tides come in.
Okay. Well, good. That should be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me a flashlight. I'm gonna get me a flashlight, and I'm gonna film. Hopefully, my camera will come. Hopefully, my camera light will come on too while I'm filming. It. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's.
I don't think because I'm using StreamYard on my phone. I think it's not going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, that looks good. That as far as that, but yeah.
I like Texas grannies though. I like Texas grannies.
Well, they're all good. I mean, it could be used for anything. I mean, I just made something ridiculous, for the sake of doing it for the show. But like, this is perfect. It's very clear what it is. The high tide we need comes. I wonder if that's going to smell really bad.
I don't know.
Like if they start dying or whatever, that could smell really bad.
Yeah, it could.
But
yeah, and
okay.
then I did then I was playing with Chat GBT when you were showing me how to do it.
Yeah.
I went out after you stopped showing me. I went ahead and we started to practice with it, and I made me it says show Johnny TV playing at the circus and riding rides, and it came back as a picture with Johnny TV wearing not as a human, but wearing a TV as a mask, as a TV with his hands. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, what could you do?
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's it. Yeah, it's always kind of a fun thing to do. You pull it up on a show, and then you can ask the chat, or you could just make something up, and then if other people use it too, that's pretty cool.
Yep. But everything's going good, Mr. X, over here. I'm just ignoring all the bullshit, what people are saying.
Well, and just to kind of show, as far as Leanne is already discussing. Don't forget, Leanne, it didn't even take very long, and I'm getting this notification. This is Leanne's post. Before you start throwing around court order violations, you might want to check yourself. I heard you say the information was sealed. No. Some of the I know more about it than you. What you said, Leanne, is you had a transcript of the entire thing, and you were trying to give that out. We have a recording of that. Recordings tend to be an annoying habit of remembering things differently, dumbass. Got to be quicker than that. Well, here's the thing. You could talk about all you want about perjury or any of that kind of stuff. The bottom line is, and I talked to the attorney about this, Leanne, if you have a testimony about something, this isn't a murder trial. Everybody I spoke to recently about Jim has said the same things. I had a guy tell me recently that Jim taught him how to gamble years ago. This isn't a matter of opinion. And if you go up there and say what your opinion is, and the court case is over and we won the court case, this isn't like, Leanne's not a very bright person. This isn't like perjury in the O.J. Simpson case where it's like, what's his name? Fetterman or whatever his name was, the guy with the glove or whatever. The cop, the dirty cop. It's not like, hey, this guy said one thing, but it's another thing. I think that I'm found as a credible witness in knowing somebody for 40 plus years and somebody you've never met. I would be a little bit more credible in that scenario than you. But I heard you making an offer of giving out things that are supposed to be sealed. That's what I heard. So you could go fuck yourself, but I understand, Leanne. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get Jim. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing that you said because I really don't give a fuck that much. But I could see, obviously, that with 1 hour, we've been on here for 2 hours and 16 minutes. In the last hour, you either watched it or somebody told you about it. So you must be over here watching the Mr. X. For all those that say the Mr. X is boring, it's funny. I got 269 live watching the Mr. X right now. But here, let's move the fence. It's going to be somebody bought the subs. Or nobody likes them. There's 16 cash apps, or 16 super stickers. It's just like, it's so silly to say that. Leanne, the bottom line is, I know, and you know, and Jim's so hateful and vengeful against me right now that he's so blind to the fact. And you're right. Jim does not remember things that he said 6 months ago, but I have the benefit that I was in the courtroom, that you were not. And I know I spent more time on it than other people. Not going to say that's the reason we won. We won because there was no threat. And I know a little bit more about it. And you were speaking about it, and you didn't even know what you were speaking. And then when Jim was asking questions, it sounds like you were getting prompted either by Watcher or Crazy or by the petitioner or the petitioner's mother. I mean, somebody was prompting you this information, and you were, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. You're going to make a deal for sealed records? Are you sure about that? Sealed records, by the way, that they wanted sealed, not me. I didn't ask for anything to be sealed. Okay. Good luck to you. Good luck to you on that one. Johnny, what do you think?
I totally agree with you, Mr. X.
Yeah, it's just silly. It's just, they could try to do, there's no question Jim got played. Here's the thing. If I were to release that, it would only damage Jim. And I'm surprised he doesn't have the wherewithal of that. You know what I mean? I want to say thank you to Allie, by the way, coming in on the Cash App. Have a good stream and a good week, Mr. X. Stay safe. See you later. It's Allie. She comes in $10. Not forget about Manda, who came in 35 earlier, and then Texas Granny, who came in 100 earlier. So those are just the 3 PayPals that came in. Hey, listen, I'm Johnny, and I don't use these words that often, but there's no question that I've been blessed by these people. There's a lot of nice people here, and even if it's a few people, and it's a lot more than a few. I mean, there's 16 super stickers right now. And that's not Cash App, PayPals, Venmos, yada, yada. These people have been very kind to me. They've gotten my back. I try to give them, this is the most quote unquote hater content that I've done in weeks. Have I talked about it? But at length, where I've gone into it for an hour. I try to stay away from this stuff, but I thought that this specific one was interesting, not because many people watch Leanne, but to be one thing I didn't see in Leanne's post, and we could just go through it again. And as I'm just looking, Leanne, all you have to do, let me just look through your post because I didn't read it all. Why don't you prove that you have a transcript? All you got to do is prove that you have a transcript. Why don't you read a couple minutes of it? There is no cleaning up any versions. And here's the thing, Leanne, if you're getting the stuff that's not sealed from them, why don't you ask them, Leanne, to send you the declaration from Indavo Media that says Jim owns the OTT? Why don't you go ahead and have them? Have you seen that one yet? See, that wouldn't fit into your narrative. So Indavo Media, who's a company that's been around, they make a lot of money. They wrote a declaration, which was entered into evidence. Watcher Crazies was not, but it was entered into evidence. That one doesn't fit into your narrative, does it? Did you read that one out? See, that one you could read out. That one's not sealed. Have you read that one yet? No, you haven't. So until you can read 5 minutes of a transcript, and I'll tell you if it's legit, I was there, you're lying. Or somebody is telling you information that hasn't given you the transcript, and you're saying you have it and you don't. If you can't read that, you're lying. If you do have it, I don't know how you would have it because there was no stenographer there. It doesn't exist. Then there's obviously a higher problem. You won't read that out because if you read that out, there's going to be a police report the next day. There would be. And maybe there already is one. Speaking of people, I'm going to report to the police, somebody who's not been absent, somebody who's not missing. It's Texas Granny. She's number 17. Number 17, let's go. $20. Got it. Texas Granny's coming big on this show. I didn't even think she was going to be here, but she is here. Thank you, Texas Granny. Thank you to everybody. So, and no narrative was ever changed. The reason we said in the past that the Mr. X owned the OTT was to benefit Jim so he wouldn't get sued. But if we ever had to show it publicly or in a court setting, we showed that what the proof was. And Jim admitted on your show that he owned it. Don't forget, I played the audio where Jim removed me from the OTT. How could I remove myself from my own OTT? Johnny, I'm going to take off here in a little bit. What else you got?
Well, since you're bringing that asshole up real quick, do you know he's been trying to say that someone that's in our inner circle that gave him a wrench to do what he did to me that night.
I think the only way that could have happened is if one of your passwords were in there. They got into your Google YouTube account. They were able to use your password to get in, and they were modding themselves, and then they stopped that. And then once you changed your password, did they ever do that again?
No, and not only that, I blocked him too.
Right. So you blocked them and you changed your password. And here's the thing. Via the StreamYard link and that information, Texas Granny, and I'll wrap it up here in a minute. Texas Granny if you block somebody for the full amount of time, the only way to get that unblocked is to block them again for like 10 seconds or time them out. So let's say they time them out for like 800 seconds or 1,000 seconds, whatever the max is. The only way to undo that is to block them for 10 seconds and then they're back. That's the only way to circumvent that. The question would be this: why did that say Connecticut? There's only one person that we know from Connecticut. And that, well, I know Vince McMahon's in Connecticut, but the other one's Carol H. And she was one way on your show, kind of crying, kind of upset on your show and saying it wasn't her. And then on the other show, which apparently Eric Foss was playing behind the paywall content of Jim's. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I didn't see a lot of it. I just heard about it. But, here's the thing. Very stupid, not very smart. So,
yeah.
So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I would say before I leave it for Leanne, nobody dragged your life over the internet. You brought your own daughter up on your show. You brought your own granddaughter up on the show. Nobody's ever said you needed to be a host. There was nothing that was ever doxed that you didn't put out first. You doxed your husband running into a window and made fun of him. And I understand why, because of the alleged situation that happened. That's the only thing that you didn't put out was the grapes on the vine. That's the only thing you didn't put out. But you know who did that? Your buddy on your show, Jim. And that's why you're trying to get him. We're not stupid here. That's why you're trying to get him. See, here's the thing. Coronado, failure. Civil court, failure. No other options. Can't do anything to Morello. He's a police officer and a way high. Why don't you play the part? Read the transcript of the part where Morello, where the petitioner says that Morello doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to Comic-Con. He's like, and then my attorney goes, your superior officer knows less about it than you, but you can't prove. Read that part out. Like, you could read that part out, right? All right, dude, let's wrap it up. I'm going to let you go, Johnny. What else you got?
I got nothing left, man.
We're going to see you on Friday, if not before then. I'm going to let you go.
Okay, buddy.
Get out of here. Thank you guys for joining me, Mr. X News Network. I wasn't up on camera much today. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody who's come in big. I haven't forgot about you. Please hit that like button like Kathy says. Kathy will mod you, remind me. We're going to miss you, Rainbow Melon. We really care about you. A lot of people care about you. We care, you know what? And I heard PZ and some of these people in their voice, we talked about Carol H. People care about Carol H too. They don't want to see anything bad happen to her. But you spend a couple years with these people, you do start caring about them. You know, there's no question about that. It's not about money. You know, it's not about any of that. I mean, does that, whet the Mr. X's beak a little bit? Sure. Yeah. But there's people who haven't given a penny in a long time, and I still think of them fondly and wonder what they're up to. Chanel, I can name a bunch of people, so it is the way that it is. Texas, Barbara Buffalo, have a good evening. Have a great night, everybody. And we will see you soon on either Johnny's or Mr. X News Network on Friday. You will see the Mr. X at some point. Why can't I go up? Hold on a second here. What's going on here? Something's going on here. What's up with these? What's up with the StreamYard? Yeah, I can't do my ending. Well, we'll just do it this way. We'll see you guys real soon. Thank you so much and have a great night. See you soon.
Thank you for watching Mr. X News.